Hello, my friends. Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. This is Jennifer. Welcome back to my sewing room. I have all kinds of fun stuff to talk about today because I did do some of the things I told you last week I planned to do. I finished 2 shirts for my husband. These are both Wardrobe by Me patterns. This is the Jensen shirt. Both of these shirts were made from top sheets that I thrifted. I showed the sheets to you guys last year, and I wanted to give you a little bit of close-up because this has a nice texture to it. They were 100% cotton sheets that I paid maybe $5 or $6 for at the time. That is just such a pleasing thing for me because not only does it give me enough fabric to do a shirt like this is like a 3.5 yard shirt, but also it's just, I mean, where are you gonna get 3.5 yards of good quality cotton fabric for like $6? It also pleases me to be able to upcycle and reuse something that might otherwise have not been used. This shirt pattern was the one that I started making last year, and I think this is shirt 4 and 5. The first one I made was way too short, and I ended up adding 3.5 inches to the length. And so he now has 4 of these shirts. I think I told you guys when I bought this sheet that it just looked like shirting to me. And I mean, it does. It just looks like it was meant to be a shirt. I bought these not knowing if they would be a shirt for me or shirts for him. And I'm so happy that I made them into shirts for him because the fabric just ended up being so perfect. I want to make him a couple more, but that's going to be later because he has no idea what other colors he might want. I'm kind of low-key looking for some seersucker. That's something he really likes to wear in the summer. Definitely don't expect to find seersucker at the thrift store, but I will keep an eye out for that. And if I find somewhere that I like, then I'll probably do that. I also did a little nail art, and if you guys don't want to hear about my nails, go ahead and skip forward. I'll put a timestamp here. I promise it will not hurt my feelings. So I'm kind of continuing on my manicure journey. I mentioned to you guys last week I'd started doing my nails again, just kind of as a self-care thing. I find it very meditative because it takes a lot of concentration, and it's something I can do for like a couple hours a week. I just put on an audiobook and then I just focus. Been watching a lot of tutorials. Greater Good is one of the ones I've been watching. I will put hers in the description, and she does a lot of beautiful nail art on natural nails. My nails are, as I mentioned before, very thin. I hope that eventually these will be my own nails that I'm doing, but for now they are artificial nails, which I'm totally fine with. So this is what I did on Sunday. And you can see I have a little bit somewhere I saw, yep. I did a little touch up this morning. So anyway, I did a little bit of nail art, and I'm just playing with, I have a dotting tool that I'm playing with, making little flowers, and I gotta have some sparkles. These are artificial nails with builder gel on top to kind of, because I want to play with that, but I don't want to put it on my own nails yet. And then on top of that, I did just regular nail polish. And I really like the way this is working out. So if you guys are interested in this, let me know and I will keep talking about it. Otherwise, I will just not, and you can just kind of see them in the background. I did rearrange my room last week. On Friday, I came in here and I was like, okay, today's the day I'm going to start doing this. I expected it to take me 2 or 3 days. I did it all in one day. It did not take as long as I thought it would because mostly I was just moving things around. The most onerous stuff was I had to take a few things off the wall and, you know, drill new holes, and I had to spackle some holes and repaint, but I did it all in a day. I got most of the holes filled and repainted by like mid-afternoon, and then I took a break and I came back in and I put everything where I wanted it. So I will give you guys a little tour here. So we'll start on the wall you guys know best. This is my thread wall, and I didn't do much here, but as you start turning, over here, I used to have a shelf, a Calex shelf here, and I had my ironing station here, and now this is my serger, and I have all my cutting tools up here. You can see this is a narrow opening, but I can get my stool in there, and I have an idea for making it a little less narrow, but I'm going to work on that later. I'll tell you, if I figure it out, I will actually share that with you guys. I moved my project bar down a little bit because I was standing on a stool last week and I showed you guys this, and I could not reach the highest one, which was way up there. And so I've moved these down since I have room now, so I can reach them without a stool, which is really nice. And I just changed a little bit of my art here. This is the biggest change. I moved my quilt frame to the far side of my room instead of on the window wall. It's really much more out of the way. Even though I haven't really opened the space up that much more because it is on this wall, I feel much less overwhelmed by it. And I feel like I'm more likely to use it because of that. And as you can see, I have my collection of restored Raggedy Ann and Andes in here. These are just the ones that I kept, at least for now. And when we turn to the right, this is where I moved my wall brackets, and I do have some IKEA storage up there. These are just IKEA bins. You can buy bins like this pretty much anywhere now. And then I have some more storage here. This is my fabric dresser. And if I back up a little, you can see again, this is my cutting table with more storage. And I do have more storage under the frame, which I'm not going to show you guys. It's pretty tidy right now, but I am continuously trying to reduce the amount of stuff that I have so that I just have fewer storage containers. And then over here, I have the primary reason I did this, aside from being somewhat overwhelmed by the frame, was my embroidery station. This is on casters, this is on casters, this is on casters, this is on casters. So I can move these things around to make it easier for me to use them. But the main thing is that I have a workspace here and I have a workspace here where I can set up for my embroidery. And I have my Cricut cart set up in the corner by the window. The curtains are usually closed, which is why they look kind of crazy right now, because I get full afternoon sun in that window, and I live in Texas, so that's not good for any of my stuff in this room. But anyway, so my Cricut cart's here, and what I do when I use it is I'll push my cutting table all the way to the frame and then put my Cricut cart in front of it so that I have this space to work on and this space to kind of catch my mats when they're going in and out. On this side over where the ironing station is, I moved my shelving that used to be next to my sewing table. I left my rulers where they were. I left my buttons where they were. And this is where my ironing station was forever, and it feels so much more natural to have it here that I'm really genuinely looking forward to using it again. I'll give you guys a tiny sneak peek. This is my itty bitty office over here where I do all of my editing and stuff. So I really hope that makes a difference. I guess we will see. I will definitely keep you guys updated. That's going to be it for me. You guys have a wonderful week. Have a very crafty week. Hug someone you love. Stay safe. And I'll see you next week. Bye.